True. Definitely good stuff. And in fact, the next series should be just as good because we are going to be watching Dewalt versus eOnzErG.
Ooh, wow. Oh, that's I think it's difficult for both players. At this point, we really get the cream of the cream. So
Cream of the cream.
cream of the cream. Yeah. So
Nice,
basically,
nice.
it's yeah. Both players probably. I hope both players practice for this because I mean it's really close. It's getting down to the wire now.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm not actually sure how big the prize increase is between rounds, but it's starting to get into the nice juicy territory, at least for a Brood War tournament.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, let's go into our next series then.
All right, let's
DeWalt
go.
versus eOnzErG on Jade. And in the top left position as the orange Zerg, we have eOnzErG. And at the bottom right as the white Protoss, we will have DeWalt.
Okay, and Neo Jade. Neo Jade PVZ, huh? Okay, so you do have your, the kind of four-player map situation. Relatively easy to split the map in half, I think.
Yep, should be. But not a
So,
situation the Zerg wants in this case.
wait, there was, I think, when Bisu was playing, who was it, Zero? Like, not long ago, spoiler alert for those watching, he got wrecked on this map by basically links going to different bases, and he couldn't keep
Hmm.
up with it because they're actually quite far apart, and
Yeah,
Zerglings are relatively cheap, so it's a lot of different areas.
yeah.
So it may be easy to split the map, but keeping it might not be that easy.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one strategy that depends a lot on how the Protoss responds. Because it's very easy, even for very high level Protosses, to sort of panic a little bit and just keep sending
Mm-hmm.
their whole army one way or another. So it's like, so for example, if the wall expands to the bottom left, 2 dozen Zerglings go to the bottom left. He's like, oh my god, the Zerglings are attacking. He sends his whole army there. And at the same time, Zerglings attack, his 3 o'clock base. And he sends his whole army back. And he just keeps chasing these Zerglings around with the max supply. When what he should really be doing is splitting the army into the different bases, right? I mean, usually
Yeah.
that's not what you want to do in PvZ. Usually the army is strongest together. But if the Zerg does go for that kind of thing, you have to you have to smartly split your units.
I think the main problem, at least from the game that was with Bisu, the main problem was that he didn't have a lot of tech units. So
Okay.
so it was very difficult for him to split, and even when he was leaving some units, it was not enough. And it wasn't really like I don't remember how exactly the game went, but it definitely was clear that if he had more, for example, reavers, less zealous, things like that, he would definitely have held it. But I mean, we'll see how this goes because we do see that the Walt gets the Forge first, then the Nexus, then the Cannon,
Yep.
and eOnzErG went for wait 9 pool.
That's probably an overpool.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it's okay. And Dewalt is okay because it's cross map. If it was close positions, it would be slightly scary, but in this situation, it's okay. He is pulling
Yeah.
some probes just in case. Of course, the Zerglings can potentially run around the left side, go around the bottom of the Nexus, and swing into the main.
Uh-huh.
So just has to be careful of that. Yeah, should be fine.
And he gets the scout about what's going on in the main, so that looks pretty good for the Walt so far.
Yep. eOnzErG, though, taking a close third. Very interesting. Not going for another natural. Now, I'm okay with this. If he goes for that, 3-hatch Hydra pressure into economy build, I do quite like that strategy, actually.
The thing about that, in a way, I think that because Protosses have started to realize that a lot of Zergs do like to go for the other natural, it's kind of I would say it's a little bit tricky because if you do it for another natural, you are susceptible to some kind of attacks, or you have to make maybe too many sunkens and so on. maybe that has something to do with that. But yeah, definitely if it goes for a Hydra, problem is that the probe is still there and sees everything all the time. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a good idea for eOnzErG to go for that.
And he's actually not. He's going for the lair instead. I like that not as much because then this close third doesn't really give you anything. I mean, unless you're really scared that Dewalt's going to go for some early Zealot shenanigans, and even then, it's not particularly hard to SimCity at the naturals on this map. Like, let's say he goes to the top right, it's pretty easy to actually block this off, I think. So I don't, you know, I'm not a huge fan of this, but I trust eOnzErG's judgment. He's obviously a super high-level Zerg player, so, you know, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, okay, so... Wait, somebody's saying that hatches have place? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, everything looks fine to me. Yeah, that looks okay. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so basically, the only real thing that probably eOnzErG would like to see is the forge spinning right now, because it's really standard what the Dewalt is going for. And the probe, I mean, it's 5 minutes and the probe is still in the main.
Yeah, this is just eOnzErG not particularly caring about this. If he actually wanted this dead, he would have made more than 2 Zerglings.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I guess he did make more than 2 Zerglings, but he just left everything in the front. He even actually has speed now, so could easily kill this off if he really wanted to. Is instead just being annoying at the front. Yeah, so, well, Zealot's gonna play with these Zerglings a little bit here. One thing, oh yes, so Dewalt is getting +1 ground weapons, but not +1 air weapons. So it's not exactly the fast, you know, the speed lot Sair style that we see sometimes. I don't think. I think you usually get +1 air weapons with that as well, don't you?
I think that he's only gonna use 1 Crusader for scouting. He's not making more and having a lot of gateways, so maybe he just wants to make it look like it's more Corsairs, so Scourges are being built instead of Mutas, for example.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
And then go for a heavy Zealot attack.
He is building a second one. I was gonna say, usually, even if you don't plan to commit to Corsairs, I feel like you usually build at least 2, because that way, if you suddenly scout like a bunch of Mutalisks being built or something like that, you can potentially build more, even if you weren't originally going to. Whereas if you only build the 1, it doesn't particularly help you that much.
Yeah.
So I feel like 2 is a good number, even if you don't want to go for more.
One thing that I do not know, maybe somebody in the chat can tell. Usually when you scout that the Zerg only has 1 gas, and no more gases has been added, it's kind of uncommon to go for the Mutas, because you don't have that instant high amount of Mutas at the same time. And this is something I've noticed most games, even against when Koreans play. So maybe he only started with 1 because he did see with the probe that there was only 1 geyser.
Yep, definitely possible. Looks like he's actually moving out with his speed lots here. +1 is not quite done, but it will be done by the time they get to the Zerg's natural. Is this just me, or are there 2 guys on the Protoss' natural gas? There's 2, right? That's not 3.
Oh wait.
Oh, he just put another one on. Okay, he just put one more. There were 2 on there for a while though.
Okay.
There were definitely 2. I'm pretty sure that screwed over a Protoss in the last round in the game we casted.
Oh yeah.
Speed lot attack.
Ooh, it's actually real fast.
Yeah, this is a little bit bad for eOnzErG. He's doing a nice job drone drilling though. That's actually a really good drone drill. The problem is the Zealots are just way too strong against the Zerglings, but really nice second sunken positioning. Look at this. Behind the minerals, no way for the Zealots to actually get a good surface area, but it looks like the Zealots actually have discovered that they can hit the other hatchery. They should turn. They should hit the Zerglings. Yeah. And now they can turn back.
Yeah, it's doing a lot of damage. Both economically in the hatch, but at the same time producing so many more Zerglings.
Oh wow, a lot of those just died right there. But look at this, you see the Zealots our +1 Zealots are just so good against Zerglings that, you know, just massing lings like that is not particularly helping the situation. 1 random Mutalisk here at the front. We have to look at what's going on in the Protoss base though. We've got a couple of DTs and an Archon morphed here. Looks like, yeah, the Zilla attack is over.
These, I think, are a little bit questionable unless he wants to go for maybe Dark Archons. I mean, at this point...
Yeah,
they might... I don't know.
I was actually wondering whether he would do that, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see him researching Maelstrom, and that would be something you would want if he was going to get the DT.
Yeah.
Or the Dark Archon. Yeah, I think a slightly safer thing might have been to get the second Archon if he was scared of these mutas, for example. He's only got, I think, 3 Corsairs right now with no +1, but he's not particularly worried about that. In which case, the DTs obviously can provide, you know, a lot of scouting information and potentially expansion blocking. But he's got to be careful not to lose these Corsairs though, because there are a decent number. Well, I thought there were a decent number of mutas. Yeah, okay, there they are. And with only 1 Archon, even if he had 2 Archons, actually. Archons are not great against mutas just because of the muta micro. Even though in a straight up fight they'll kill them, they can't actually catch them.
Yeah, I mean, when you said that Archons are not great against mutas, for a second there I thought, well, I understand your reasoning and that you're gonna explain that, but for a second there that sounds really crazy. Yeah,
it definitely does. I mean, if you haven't seen high level muta micro against Archons, you know, you're like, what? Archons are great against mutas, but yeah, it's just one of those interesting things where it's like, huh. Oh my god.
Her is gonna go down for sure.
Yeah, it looks like instead of bringing everything back to defend, Dewalt's just going for the counterattack. This is going to be some kind of weird base trade situation here. There's 2 cannons and 1 Corsair in the main, but remember, a bunch of the Corsairs got killed earlier. But is this... The Protoss might trade his entire probe line for just 1 Zerg base. That's not worth it. eOnzErG can just build a bunch of summons that is natural to not die.
Well, this... 1 Archon is gonna get finished with a cannon. It should be difficult for those mutas to engage it, but as you mentioned, with a micro, you can just kill the probes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what eOnzErG wanted to be doing. Though.
Oh my god, eOnzErG, what are you doing? What are you doing? Can he actually brute force it down? He is gonna brute force it down, but he's taking so much damage.
Yeah, a lot of damage.
It was actually a really nice split there that he did. It's just unfortunate he was on top of a cannon and a Corsair as well, providing the bonus damage.
Overkill.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that muta micro.
See, this is the problem here. Now, Dewalt still has a 20 supply lead. Yeah. He's lost a lot of probes, but he somehow still has an okay number. And he's forced a lot of sunkens. See, eOnzErG has very few drones as well because he built so many extra sunkens here.
There's also a 3rd already done. So, I mean, there's 3 Nexi and 2 base Zerg. So when if he manages to kill those mutas, I don't think eOnzErG has anything to do. He's not producing mutas because of that. So he knows.
Yeah, he has to basically kill all the probes now with mutas. Which, I mean, may happen here. Dewalt needs to be more careful with these Corsairs. If eOnzErG actually manages to sneak in a couple of Scourge here and there as well to deal with these Corsairs, that could still be really effective. I mean, Dewalt pretty much can't mine safely right now. He has no cannons.
Oh man, Dewalt is trying to defend all locations at once instead of focusing on maybe 2 until he has good enough force to basically obliterate the mutas. And because of that, he actually might lose this.
Mistake there by Dewalt though, losing the 2 Corsairs. He thought the Archon was going to cover it, but eOnzErG very smartly stopped on the cliff so the Archons went around instead. Oh my god. The Dark Archon, baby. He's not researching Maelstrom yet though.
Maybe he got it already and we just didn't see it because, you know, he needs a shield battery. I mean, at this point that makes a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you can afford that though. I mean, the main army came back though, right? Yeah. I still think Dewalt is actually in a really good position here. Even though he lost a lot of probes, once he gets 1 cannon in each mineral line, it'll be way harder for Zerg to harass like that. And he's already got the 1 in his natural and in his main now. And reproducing probes off 3 Nexus is obviously going to be really, really nice.
Yeah, and at the same time, Corsair production is resumed, so...
Oh,
but still, the micro is really nice so far for eOnzErG. He is at least balancing this game a little bit.
One thing, okay, Dewalt's getting Maelstrom now. He has to be careful not to Maelstrom the mutas when they're over the impassable ground, because there's no point Maelstroming them if you can't attack them, right? He needs to catch them when they're, like, on the mineral line so the Archons can actually hit. It's gonna be tricky.
Yeah, I think eOnzErG has really like. Wow, he is really brave. Still flying around with these mutants when he knows there's a Dark Archon.
Yeah.
That's asking for trouble.
I don't think he has a choice, because if he doesn't do damage right now, if he doesn't keep doing damage, he's gonna lose. He has to do this damage, and this is really nice damage. Wow. Okay, these Corsairs are gonna be important. He needs to keep the Corsairs alive, though. The Corsair, oh man. Oh, do you see? This is the problem. He can't hit them. Oh, no, he can't hit them. Oh, the Maelstrom, he can't hit them. They floated into range. They were not originally in range, but they floated to upwards. Oh my god.
You know, Dewalt just knows the game so well that he knew they would actually float up.
Dude, what is that random? What direction do Mutas flow when they're Maelstromed? I don't even know. Was that just because they were facing downwards or something and they spread out upwards? I have no idea, but that was really lucky.
Yeah. You know, basically bugs in StarCraft are just features that make the game more extreme. So, when you see this kind of stuff, you think to yourself, well, I should have known that.
Yeah, dude, Brood War is like the epitome of, it's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so actually this Hydra army that's been amassing, that looks really big.
Yeah, that's the problem when you go Zealot Archon, is if the other guy goes Mass Hydras, you're like, huh, it's kind of scary.
Storm just finished, okay? Just like right now.
He's just finished?
Yeah, right now, so that was so close.
Yeah, Storm it. Seaball, it's gotta be. Oh, look at this.
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows that he can't storm just a small pack of units. Wow. And there's a lot of gateways, so that's not a problem in terms of economy. As long as the Dewalt can have enough economy to produce from those gateways, he probably should be fine. Whoa.
Oh, one storm. Nice pullback. It's not quite far enough. He's only got one more storm, right? Nice split. Very nice split. I think the Zell should pull back now. He needs to stay on the top of this ramp. But the Dark Archon almost has one Maelstrom. That could actually turn the tide of this battle. Maelstrom is instant, so you can't dodge it. 3 more energy. He could Maelstrom this group.
2.
Oh! Maelstrom move, but he has no storm to back it up. Oh! There we go. The combo.
You know what though? There's not that many units right now. There's 1 DT, a few White Templars. This is not a big army for the wall.
eOnzErG can't keep this up though. He has very low economy. eOnzErG doesn't have the drone count to spam that much more, although it looks like he might be breaking through a little bit. Okay, how many cannons do we have at each base? That's the question. The problem is the third base cannons are a little bit out of position, and there's only going to be one more storm here.
He's got it. Oh, nice storm.
Nice.
This is really close.
Yeah, the thing is though, Dewalt can actually spam speedlots now. In large numbers, Mass Hydra is good against Mass Speedlot just to the fact that it's range versus melee, and you can't get good enough surface area. But in very, very low numbers, Speedlots are too good. Yeah, GG from eOnzErG.
I gotta say, I didn't believe eOnzErG would last that long after the mutas went down.
Yeah. eOnzErG really played his heart out there, trying to come back after losing that third. It was a very, very intense situation there. Basically, you know, not quite a base trade, but basically a probe, like an econ for base trade, you know. But he just couldn't do quite enough eco damage, and eOnzErG was just all in on the attack. He had nothing backing that up.
I gotta say though, I wouldn't be feeling too hot if I was Dewalt after that game.
If you're Dewalt?
Yeah, because the thing is that game went relatively normal until he got a really good hit on that third. Yeah. But after that, even after that, when you should be thinking, okay, I pretty much got this game in the bag, it really started to look like eOnzErG would bring it back. So, I mean, I would be feeling a little bit on edge, thinking if I give eOnzErG any possibility to come back, he can't come back.
That's definitely true. I mean, that's something you would expect from eOnzErG anyway, given how strong a player he is. I'm actually quite impressed by how well Dewalt did there. I would have actually definitely picked eOnzErG to win this match. As much as I really like Dewalt, actually. Dewalt's really funny. He actually streamed for a little while, and his stream was just so funny. He seems so chill and like just happy, like singing while he's playing his game. Kind of like in my stream, actually. But I I felt until that crazy base trade happened, Dewalt felt really in control. He was the one. He made the first speed lot attack, did a massive amount of damage, followed up with a big attack. Of course, the second attack turned into the weird situation with the mutas in his base. And even though eOnzErG did a really good job with the micro, Dewalt didn't just panic and just lose everything, right? Like, yeah, he lost a few extra probes here and there. Maybe he didn't need to, but that kind of situation, a lot of Protosses will have faced that, and a lot of them will just be like, there's mutas everywhere, and just like lose everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've lost plenty of games from that situation as well. But Dewalt, he's like, all right. Make enough Archons, keep the probe safe, make the Dark Archon, just take control. That was really good.
Yeah. I like this game plan a lot. Maybe a little bit surprised that he didn't make the Dark Archon a little bit earlier. But
yeah, well,
because he had those DTs for quite a while. He could have just said, okay, you know what, I'm just going to start it.
Fair enough. Well, we're going to be going on Overwatch for game number 2. Let's see if we end up in a crazy situation like that again. See some more Dark Archon action. That was very exciting. But yeah, going into game 2.
All right, let's go.